Welcome everyone, it's day 10 of our 90-day game plan, and today I wanted to bring up a topic that is around team and what are the core rules that you build your team with. There's this sentence, obviously if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, you go as a group. And building a company always means building a team. Now, one of the most important things is the chemistry in that team, and that is when it comes down to team principles. Now, different companies, different organizations call those things, core values. I think Amazon calls it leadership principles. But to me, it's all about team principles. The crucial question always when it comes to team principles is who should decide those team principles? What are these team principles? And how many should you have? Now, some companies, they have 3, some have 12. We in Cake, we have 7. I believe probably a good number is anywhere between 3 and probably 7 is actually on the higher side, maybe 8. I think that's maybe that kind of range, right? I think fewer than 3 is a bit weird. Maybe having way more than 7 is also a bit on the difficult side, even though I know companies have 10 or something. Now, when I came up with the team principles at the very, very beginning, it's really coming down to my personal preference in how would I love to work with people. And actually in my personal life or for the family, we also have those principles, but they're quite different than in a team. Don't forget, family is family, a team is a team. And so you really want to kind of keep this in mind. And I do think the team principles should really come from the top. It's not a bottom-up approach. It has to be a top-down approach, especially the larger you grow and the bigger the organization gets. I know that in some organizations, the CEO or the original founder kind of does a so-called team principle check all the way through. I remember at Airbnb, I think they did it all the way until employee 500, where they checked all the way the team principles there, and only then they let team leads do the team principle checks going forward. Now, I didn't manage to do this. I think I did it maybe for the first 50 to 60 employees, but further down, it just gets so difficult from your time resources. So let's kind of work this a bit through. How do you get to your team principles? Really, maybe look at other companies, see what kind of team principles they have, and get a bit inspired there. Obviously, reflect a bit with yourself. I believe team principles need to be able to be lived all the time. So this is really crucial. There are no exceptions. They kind of have to happen all the time. And this is really important. Again, it has a lot to do with your culture. It has to do with how you are. And you're going to see this in the 7 team principles that I'm going to share from our side of it. First team principle for us, for example, is integrity. I always believe this is where everything starts. And integrity during different times means a lot of different things, right? It means to be very transparent about certain things. It means to be upfront with certain things and, doing the right thing. And it's not always easy, but I think it's really, really crucial. And look, I have seen this with other team members. I even have seen this with partners where that concept of integrity has gone a very slippery slope. And that's not something you want to have. It's not something you want to see. That's where it starts. Second one, extreme ownership. To me, that means you know what you're in charge of and you know what others are in charge of. And you not only deliver on yours, you also expect others to deliver on theirs. Extreme ownership. Next one, resourcefulness. I don't believe that solutions get stopped by the lack of resources. It gets stopped by the lack of smart, creative people who can make the most out of what they already have. Some of the best team members I know, you can really give them very little and they can produce a lot of exciting things. And I think that always applies to product, applies to marketing, applies to any other concept that you have in a company. Again, you may put some focus on those. You may think others are more interesting. Next one is that of relentless impact. It means that you really think about what truly matters, because it's not about being busy. We used to actually have, at the very beginning, we used to have a team principle called passion. And I know we had team members who were so passionate about what they did, but that doesn't necessarily mean that translates into results. So it really matters on doing what truly matters. And that is really crucial. It's not about being busy, it's about being productive. The next one is that one that I believe always breaks down first when trust breaks down or when people get anxious, and that is that of candor. Now, there's a very good book called Radical Candor, and it means that you are willing to give the tough feedback. The tough feedback is so difficult to give all the time. It's difficult to give on the way up, to the side, and to the down. It's so hard, and you rarely meet people who are really, really good in giving feedback. Because some people are passive-aggressive, some people just try to be fake nice, other people just don't give you that tough feedback, and then there's people who are just really, really good with giving you that straight-on feedback. Also, people are not good at receiving feedback. People very easily get defensive. People start making excuses instead of just saying, yeah, you may be right, let me think about this, thanks. And then you think about it, and if you can say it right away and say, hey, thanks for that feedback, I appreciate that, I'll execute on that. Sometimes it's a very tough one. You may need a little bit, maybe you need a day, maybe you need a week. But then you should always go back to that person that gave you that feedback and just appreciate it. If that person was wrong with that feedback, fine. But if that person is right, also tell that person and say, hey, look, you're right, appreciate it. In that moment, I couldn't deal with this right away. It was too much for me. I put up my defenses, I understand. But you're right, I'm executing on that. Next one is that of a meritocracy. I think that's also one that in our entire society is a bit on the breaking down. Decisions are being made on so weird factors. It doesn't come down to the best idea anymore. It just comes down to so many other factors. And one thing, and I think that's actually where we are in Singapore. Singapore is so focused on being a meritocracy. I really love that. In so many Western societies and countries, that is really on the breakdown. And it's shocking. And at the end, it doesn't take long until these organizations die, because at the end, bad ideas produce bad results. Bad decisions cause bad results. Sometimes you get lucky and you have a bad decision with good luck and you have a good outcome, but over time, luck is not something to bet on, and bad decisions will inevitably lead to bad results. That's really, really crucial. It's number 6. And for us, number 7, instead of being customer obsessed, there is a very important caveat to that, and that is you don't listen to all the customers. Not all the customers are king. The right customer is king. And the right customer has to be treated with velvet gloves. That's important. But then you have a lot of customers that actually are not the right customers for you. That's where your persona comes in. That's where your target audience comes in. And it may also mean that you actually offboard a customer because that customer is not useful at the end, but actually hurts. Now, obviously, the bigger you get, the more of those customers you need, but especially at the beginning, you need to be really, really kind of focused on that. These are our 17 principles. That doesn't mean that they're the right ones for you, but I am very, very adamant about that, and I really focus a lot about that. I focus on those when I'm hiring. If you are interested in how I do this, you can let me know. That maybe in one of the future videos I actually talk about that. I focus on those when we do performance reviews. I focus on those when I have to fire someone. It is absolutely crucial. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the 17 principles. What would be one that you would add, remove? Maybe let me know which ones you have in your organization. These are ours. See you tomorrow. Click to subscribe, then you don't miss anything. Thank you so much. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.